Okay, so I want to talk about my krone baler. I got a lot of people that are time for a new one kind of a thing. And you should try New Holland. That cracks me up. If you think I should try New Holland, go back 5 years and tell me how much New Holland I should try. Just 5 years. 6 years, 4 or 5 years, 6 years, 5 years, do it. Anyway, I bought this baler in, when did I buy this thing? 2016. Yeah, 2016. I've had it. This is its fifth season through its fifth season. There are 52,000 bales on this baler. Yep, 52,000 bales. So, like any other baler on the market, they all wear. They wear out. They wear in. They just wear. And the whole thing with keeping a baler for any length of time is the M word, maintenance. You have to maintain these things. And if you're not maintaining them, actively maintaining them all the time, you're going to have catastrophic failures. And when I talk about catastrophic failures, that's what a New Holland would do on a weekly basis. I mean, shut you down, wait for parts, catastrophic failures. Anytime you have to shut your machine down and go home with hay laying in the field, that's a catastrophic failure. I've been fortunate, knock on some wood someplace for me, that this baler has never had a catastrophic failure that wasn't inflicted by an obstruction, let's put it that way. This is the baler that I hit the front end with on a stump and busted the front end out of it. You know, the pickup cost me $9 grand to fix it that day. And we did it in a day. Tore it apart one day, put it together the next. It was great. I do have some issues with it. I have the repair parts for it, and life will be good. One chronic issue that I have with this baler and the other baler, and I think anybody that bales damp marginal material is going to have this issue, is right here with this clutch. This is an overrunning clutch on this end, and this end is supposed to have the slip clutch. Now, for some reason, I'm not seeing my slip clutch here. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Why is that there? My nephew must have had to cut that apart for something. I know what he used it for. So, here's the slip clutch. This is a torque or a tension style clutch. And what normally happens with these is they break here. But if you jam that machine up, the VFS of that machine up, the variable fill rate machine, it's inside there, basically your packer stuffer system. You jam that up, it jams the pickup up, and this slips. It's a ratchet clutch. It goes bang, 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 until it gets slow enough and then re-engages and feeds everything into the VFS, which is that system right there, the packer stuffer system. I don't like that. This is the thing that I don't like about the krone baler, because I've had to replace several of these things. This one here actually lasted throughout the entire year, and it probably would continue to work for another entire year. But as you can see here, there's a grease zerk that is missing there, and that was the common problem with the other one. When it ratcheted, it would actually just unwind that thing, and it used to be up here at the top, and it would break it off, and then all the grease would flow out. So they put them in the face, and up until now, probably the last 1,000 bales, this was in there, and it has now backed out, and obviously it's kind of dry. I can see it's dry, but it's still good. There's no cracks, fractures, breaks, or anything in it from being overly used. But it's getting replaced because if you look down inside there, I don't know if you can see, what happened was it actually came up, and I'll show you here. One of these buttons had, one of these buttons that keep this whole system in place snapped off, and it rode up, and it was at the very top, so it was wobbling inside there. Everything was working correctly, except it was wobbling on that shaft that goes to there's a gearbox that goes in. That shaft goes into a gearbox, and then runs a 90 degree, 45 degree angle, 45, and then it goes and runs the rest of the pickup. So it wore those splines in there. I could probably go ahead and get in there with a file or something and file those splines and jam it back down on there, and probably, and I may even do it as a, you know, precautionary kind of a thing, or a spare kind of a thing. But I bought 2 of these, so I'm not even going to worry about it. But what I was thinking of doing is actually boring a hole in the new one, the new one when I get it, and putting a set screw in there to keep that in this groove right here. Okay? It's not hard to do. It's just a matter of doing it. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is actually just put a set screw in there. So in the event that one of these buttons gets vibrated open, and I'm pretty sure it's one of these here because it slid up the shaft. There's a spline shaft there, like a 540 power takeoff shaft in there. Somebody's walking in here. I don't know who. Who's over there? Somebody. No? Okay, so it was my father. And he's not a big fan of being on video, which shocks the hell out of me, because the old man used to run around and take video of us with Super 8mm and even VHS when that was a thing. And I have those videos, believe it or not. But anyway, we'll get back to it. So that's what I'm gonna do with the new ones, is I'm actually going to bore a hole, thread it, and get a, it'll take 2 of them, one to jam the other one in. But just a set screw to set that in there so that it doesn't slide up. And I don't have that problem again, because these things are very expensive. This one here was almost $800. Yes, almost $800. Now, the new one, they have come down in price for some reason. John Deere has raised their prices through the roof, and Krone has actually dropped their prices considerably, which is a surprise to me, because the world market, you know, the world is who knows. All I know is that it was less money to buy the parts for these balers. Now, I have 2 balers, 2 of these Krone balers. Cody has 1. I purchased the parts for 2 balers, preventative maintenance and broken bits and pieces on these 2 balers. And the bill came out to, before the 10% discount, because they're running a special right now. Let me fasten you there. They're running a special right now, 10% till the end of the month at Messick's. So if you need parts for New Holland, Case, Krone, and whatever else they sell over there, right now is when you want to do that. So me and Cody went through the book. We figured everything that we needed to figure, and what we're going to need, with the exception of 2 power takeoff shafts. We do have these problems with these power takeoff shafts, and that's going to cost me $5,000 for 2 of them, because I have to buy 2. That's just the way they are. So, yeah, that's the deal. Anyway, $17,500 or $400 is what it's to cost for 2 of these balers. Now, I'm sure, and that's just parts. That's not my time and the labor that it's going to take to put it in there. And I'm sure there's a few of you out there that are right now screaming at the computer screen, buy a Massey Ferguson. You can't put all that money into a baler. You're crazy. It's time to get rid of that Krone junk. Because I know there's a lot of people out there that are just, they go home at night, they get on their computer, whether they own one or not, and they jerk off to Massey Ferguson balers. They either ran one, saw one run, or they own one, and they think they're the best thing since sliced bread. Well, I'm not saying Massey Ferguson makes a bad baler. Heston, Massey Ferguson, Heston. I have a Heston Massey Ferguson, or Agco Heston. That's what I had, that 4x4 baler out there. Yes, it's 20 years old. Yes, it does an okay job. It is not something that I am going to base my business on, because it would just take, it would cost me money. Yeah, cheap baler, cheap. It's not cheap on parts, trust me. I bought parts for that thing, and I think they were more money than with the parts I buy for the Krones that I have. So, this is how you figure out when a baler is either making you or costing you money. It's pretty simple. What it takes to produce a bale of material. Okay, so this baler, both of these balers were in that $170,000 range. Let's just for shits and giggles say each baler cost me $175,000, right? It's a lot of money. I would like to get these balers to 100,000 bales each. I think it's 100% doable with proper maintenance and the proper maintenance and parts. So that's a lot of bales. We're more than halfway there with this one. I don't see anything on this baler that causes me concern that I will need to. It doesn't cause me any concern. Everything that happens to these balers is pretty much normal maintenance problems. If you hit an obstacle in the field, you're going to bend strippers. If you hit an obstacle in the field, you're going to break pickup tines. That's normal. They're consumables. Not really expensive to deal with. There's 100 of them, 100 pickup tines in that header, and I think there's 26 bands that go across there, but they're 42 bucks. The pickup tines are $5 a piece. If you buy them this time of year, it's a lot cheaper. So those are consumables. That's normal for every baler to break, and it happens. So between the two balers this year, we baled, let's see, what did we bale? 12? Approximately 12,000 bales per baler, right? Yeah. A properly maintained baler from start to finish through the year for 12,000 bales, a good number to say, a number that you can use to properly gauge when a baler is making you money or taking money from you, is $1 a bale. If it costs you more than $1 a bale to bale in parts, I'd say you could go as high as $2 a bale, personally. That's my opinion. Some years you're going to put more maintenance into a baler than other years. This year, the maintenance on this thing is actually going to be pretty high because we are replacing the rollers in both plungers, and we're replacing the rotors in the rotor in this baler. The other baler, I'm not going to worry about it. And the transmissions for the pickups. This pickup needs to be chopped out, the pivots on it, because I have the update kit for it. The other one, I don't have the update kit for it, but I'm probably going to just monitor that one. That one may have already gotten the update kit, which I'm pretty sure it does. There's bronze that they put in there, bearing bronze or oil bronze, and I don't see any wear on that one at all. This one here is worn, so I'm going to fix that. So this is a high maintenance year. Yeah, a high maintenance year. And at 15,000 bales, we're looking at $7,500 per baler because I split all the parts down the middle. I bought all the parts for this one as I did for the other one. I will have spare parts for the other baler because this is a baler that is older and has more things that need to be done, but the other baler isn't too far behind. It's about 20,000 bales behind. So 30 to 40 to 52. It's 30-some thousand bales through it. So it's about 15 to 20,000 bales behind this one in its wear. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. So I'm not even at 7,500. We're looking at what, 75 cents a bale? Not even 75 cents a bale in maintenance parts. So if I added my labor to it, yeah, of course, you might as well double it for labor. So 75 is 14,000. So a little over $1 a bale if I add my labor, but I don't add my labor because I don't really have to because it's just me. If I take YouTube videos off of it, then fine, no labor at all, okay? No labor at all. So we'll just do it that way. Anyway, with that being said, $7,500 to really revamp this baler. There is a piece of equipment that I have to purchase, a magnetic drill, because there's a problem up on the top mount for this gearbox. I'm buying a magnetic drill, and we're going to bore that thing out to an 1 3/8 inch 7/16, and put a new 1 7/16 inch hardened steel shaft into it. And that will more than likely fix that problem. But the magnetic drill, I can use that anywhere, anytime. It's $1,700 for that drill. And the bit, obviously the bit is probably going to be a couple $100 too, because they're big and it's expensive. So I'm not really worried about that. So between the two balers, if it costs me 75 cents a bale to maintain 2 machines. I'm okay with that. Literally, I'm okay with that because this is 12,000 bales through this baler, 12,000 bales through that baler. I think we did more than that. Oh, we definitely did more than that. But whatever. That's where it is. It isn't $1. I've always figured if it cost me $2 to $2.50 per bale to maintain these balers, I'd still be making money, you know. So I'm still making money. The yearly costs on these balers just to buy them, you know, there's $175,000 in each baler. We pay them off. This one here is close. The other one, yeah, this one here, no, one more year. No, I'll be done paying for this one in the spring. So this one will no longer owe me anything other than maintenance parts in the spring, because that'll be 6 years that I've had it. I bought it in 16. It took delivery in 16. That'll be 5 years. 5 years. It's a 5-year deal on this one. So yeah, I'm almost done paying for it. Yay for me, right? So this baler won't owe me anything, and then for the next 50,000 bales that I put through it, it will only cost me maintenance. And the other one is 2 years behind that. I bought that one in 18. So, you know, once that one is paid for, that one probably won't, I don't know. We're gonna run them until they're just expensive to maintain. So that's the breakdown. That's what it's cost. If you go and get your Massey Ferguson and run that, and maybe you don't maintain your equipment as well as I do. I know there's a lot of people out there saying, oh my God, you put so much money into those things. Well, my personal experience is every time I got to get out of that tractor seat, walk back to the baler and work on knotters, that's 5 to 10 minutes out of my day every time I have to do that. If I'm doing that 10 times in a course of an 8-hour baling session in regular hay baling here, so if I do that 10 times, that's 100 minutes. That's an hour in, God, it's an hour and 40 minutes. It's an hour and 40 minutes. Just say an hour and a half of my day, getting out of that seat, walking to the back, screwing with a knotter, an hour and 40 minutes. If you've looked at the number of bales that I put out in an hour with this machine, is a bale and a half a minute. So every 10 minutes, you're looking at 15 bales in good hay and straw. 15 bales in 10 minutes. We'll go on the 10-minute mark because you have to shut the machine down. You have to get out, you have to go back, you have to restart this machine, and it takes probably a minute to get it going because of the hydrostatic bale or flywheel starter and all that stuff. So if I'm not getting out but once a day, or maybe I don't get out at all. I know this summer we ran flawlessly for a long time with these balers. I mean, I should knock on wood somewhere because we really did. We worked flawlessly. We went to North Carolina, baled all day and night. Not so much as we broke one bill hook tong. One. That was it. And it was Teresa's fault. She saw the mistie and then ran it one more bale because sometimes it will clear out. It'll give you, it'll clear out on the next knotter cycle. Well, it broke it. No big deal. We fixed it. I fixed it. It was like 10 or 11. It might have been midnight. So that was from 10 o'clock in the morning till midnight. We're looking at 14 hours of actually running. And that was really the only time that she had gotten out that day. Shut us down for about a half an hour because I had to come and fix that. So it did, although 2 balers were still running, but this baler was shut down. But yeah, no, it was good. So if you take all those minutes that you're out of the tractor and working on this, or you do it in the wintertime and you fix everything in the wintertime so that you have a smooth run in summer, that time you spend in the shop in the wintertime will save you time in the field, which will put more bales through it per hour. And what's the cost then? So if it costs me $7,500 in parts to make me, well, let's see. If it's 10 minutes a day, or if it's 100 minutes a day, and I work for 6 weeks solid down there. And out of that 6 weeks, I run 4 solid weeks, and that's, what's 7 times 4? 7 7 is 14, times 2, that's 28 days. That's 2,000 minutes, a bale and a half a minute. That's, damn, 3,000 bales. So 3,000 bales is what it's costing me by getting out of that tractor in actual baling time. 3,000 bales. 3,000 bales. Now figure this, 3,000 bales. If it costs me $1 a bale to maintain it, that costs me $3,000 in that time. If I maintained it like now, and that $3,000 is in my back pocket, you know, and it'll run until this time next year, and that $3,000 is in my pocket. But that's not the only $3,000. I guarantee you the maintenance that I do now pays for itself in the winter time when I'm fixing it. So anybody that thinks that krone balers are junk have never ran one. This is a Cadillac. You can buy, well, yeah, you can buy a Chevy Tahoe, or you can buy a Cadillac Escalade, or a Chevy Suburban, or you can buy a Cadillac Escalade. Chevy Suburban is your New Hollands, your John Deeres, your Krones, your Kloss, and your Massey Ferguson Heston. Or you can buy a Cadillac. You're going to pay a little more for the Cadillac, but you're going to be more comfortable, you're going to be more productive, and you're going to get more done. I know there's a lot of Heston, Massey Ferguson guys that are just yelling at the screens right now, saying you don't know what the hell you're talking about just because you own an old baler. I've owned 2 of those things. They're basically the same. I know a lot of people that run those yet today, and they're like, oh yeah, they're the best baler ever made. They've never run a krone. They've never run a krone. They've never run a krone. I ran New Hollands, I've run Heston, I ran a John Deere, and I even tested a coon, which is the coon deer, before it was John Deere. Never ran a Kloss, so I can't really say that, but I've run enough New Hollands to know that I never want to own another one of those. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this rambling of mine, and yeah, I hope you stick around and watch this thing get revamped, and we'll go through it. We'll go through it together.